People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I appreciate you guys for being locked in. Please make sure you hit the like button. Once again, good morning to my viewers in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are. And I hope for Arsenal fans, just downright football fans, we're still relatively on a high from the Slavia Prague game. Now, in isolation, of course, much like the Benfica and the Olympiacos ties this season before us, we would have liked to have done the games off in the first leg. We've had to rely on comebacks. We have got Uno Emre in 2 weeks or so. I don't think it will be quite the same game. I don't think we'll have room to pattern things and fix things up in the second leg. We need to play well from the start. But yesterday was a win for football. I say win because away from going through to the next round, my man's only got a 10-game ban. Pardon me, the club never got fined significantly, but at the end of the day, we won. It was nice to see Lacazette's touching tribute at the start. It was nice, obviously. I don't care who scores for Arsenal, but considering the context, 3 black players scored. So again, rubbing it in their faces. And as I said, Saka, Pepe, and Lacazette on the football field, that is quite the formidable front three. I'd love to see them on a night out. I'd love to see them buck into a lot of these guys' wives. It'd be a bit of a problematic one. Lacazette's in good scoring form on the field. Imagine what Donny's on off it, people. But like I said, big up everyone. The game's been and gone. We now need to switch on to the Fulham game. As you know, we'll get onto it slightly, people, in a second. Please make sure you've hit that like button. We're at the point of the season where I'll give you a spoiler alert. I find doing previews boring because what can I sit here and tell you, lot? We're going to get into it, but Fulham are fighting relegation. We're fighting to have credibility. Fulham are not the same team they were at the start of the year. You get it, people. It is what it is. We'll get into all of that, man. Trust me, AM. Big up the nation. Icy Freeze did him proud, and so did the ones that were brothers in arms. Shout out to them. Would have liked Donny to play just so we could do a bail on him and rough him up and all of those sort of things. Big up River. Hope you had a great birthday yesterday. You said great to once again wake up after convincing victory. That is so crucial for our season. Time will tell. I'd like to see Gabby start. That was so close to another goal for him last night. I'd like to think he starts. I don't want to say Fulham is a dead rubber game, but barring a miracle, we're not going to do anything of significance in the league. Mathematically, we still fight. We still do whatever. I still want to see the strongest team to a degree, but we're ninth, people. At a push, we're hoping, you're probably hoping Spurs can do a job really and truly against Everton to help us move up further up the table. Or in the long scheme of things, you're hoping Everton can do a job on Friday. Realistically, what? We're on 45. We're 10 points off. We're 10 points off top 4, people, with 7 games to go. It's too much. It's too little, too late. It can be done, but you're relying on a lot. Now, for me, I'm just focused on, can we claim 7th and higher? Can we kind of finish above where we finished last season? Because we've regressed. There's no way around it. We found a way to be worse than we were last season if we finish 9th, or God forbid 10th, because what? Leeds are breathing down our neck. What? Aston Villa actually have a game in hand, people. They've gone 44 points. So again, it's not a foregone conclusion. We might not even finish in the top half of the season, and I mean in the top half of the table. And you can sit here and talk about the players and the owner, and all of these things are relative, and the bad practices that have been plaguing this club. But Arteta would have to soldier some blame. He's been part of the season. You can't just sit here and say it's all the players over a 38-game period. Same way when we win, you can't just sit here and praise the manager. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, man. We'll have to see. But I don't know, man. Please make sure you're getting them like buttons in. Feel good after yesterday, as we should, man. But for me, I'm indifferent. It was a great performance, 3-0 clean sheet. We now focus on beating racism. We now focus on Fulham. That's for me anyways. Please make sure you're hitting the like button and you're checking out the pinned message. As you lot know, Sunday will be watch along time again for Arsenal and things like that. Omar, hope you're still pumped. Peter, big up yourself. Big up all the Trini Bads locked in as well. It's lovely to see you locked in as well. Jay, Gunnar, S, appreciate it. John, come on, my guy, man. Come on, man. Hope everybody's doing well and safe, man. Paul has said, big up deluded. Hope your Vex Sunday Fulham here. Aye, man. Paul, all's fair in love and war, man. I get it. For me, I'm not gonna sit here and cap my dude. In fact, we might as well just kick it off with the preview from now, really and truly. You've set it up perfectly, people, really and truly. So what? Let me zoom in a bit. Love for that, Paul. Why delay in it? Let's wait till 5 minutes and say Arsenal versus Fulham preview. Let's put a timestamp sign there. But for me, when I think of Fulham, first thing that goes through my mind in relation to Fulham people is they're a dramatically better team than they were last year. Now, whether that's due to change in formation, change in personnel, Scott Parker rewriting his practices in terms of tactics, they've all probably played a part. But what I will say, whatever it is, it's working. It's not working because for me, Fulham, there's been many times I feel Fulham have been poor and lost games, but I feel definitely in the big games, I feel they've been hard done by, like what Chelsea at Craven Cottage, Man United where Pogba scored. There's been several times, Man City away. There's been times, especially big games, if you can still call Arsenal a big game, where Fulham have given as good as they've got. Obviously, fine margins have gone against them, and obviously playing well isn't going to keep them in the league. Like 3 points is 3 points, but I think they're definitely a team to be careful of. Definitely a team that, when you're fighting relegation, you've got to be careful of as well. Definitely for me, forget looking at what's happened to Fulham. I look at that first game. It's not going to be the same Fulham. They're definitely not letting Willian score. Again, I hope to be wrong, but they're definitely not letting Willian score, people. And again, they've played 32. Newcastle have played 31. As you lot know, Fulham are on 26, 6 points. Newcastle on 32. So again, I probably think the relegated three in Fulham, West Bromwich Albion, and Sheffield is going to stay like that, and things like that. But you never know. Where there's a small glimmer of hope, you have to try. I do think Fulham are not going to be what Sheffield United are going to be, or what West Brom were when we played them in that. Not that they rolled over and accepted defeat, but it was one-way traffic for large parts. I don't think Fulham will do that. I think Fulham, I've seen them give as good as they've got against, if you can do it against City away from home, you can do it at the Emirates. Emirates isn't the loudest of stadiums anyways, and I'm pretty sure Emirates has probably been the most consistent stadium during lockdown because it's probably stayed at one consistent volume. If you was to get the Emirates and look last year, it's pretty sure it's silent. So Fulham will probably relish that. Fulham have a small glimmer of hope. And for me as well with Fulham, what you got to be careful of, if they've accepted relegation and they're building for next year, that's even more reason to be careful. And also with Fulham, not that I'm saying he doesn't care about the manager or the players or whatever, but if you're in a relegated team, people, and you want to play in the Premier League, to a degree, surely you're going to want to put yourself in the shop window, whether that's, Lookman and Guisa, Anderson, who's been a good captain for them since he's been brought in. They're a good side, man. I've seen them go 4 at the back. I've seen them go 3 at the back. I really respect their desire and their spirit, I like the fact that they never say never. Like I said, I have full admiration for people that look like that are improving. And I think Scott Parker is doing well at the team. Obviously, it's not Sunday League. It's not a day crash. Playing well doesn't mean anything, people. And the last 4 games in the league, people, have been terrible. Since they beat Liverpool 1-0, got dealt with against Man City at Craven Cottage. Leeds won 2-1 away from home. Aston Villa beat them 3-1, and they've lost to Fulham. So again, they've dropped about 12 points recently since that marker. And they did lose to Spurs as well, but when they lost 1-0 to Spurs in March. But again, they made Spurs work for that. Fulham can present problems. Again, the fine margins, probably a bit of quality goes against them. They've also beat Everton, a team that handed it to us, who we've got next after this. They are a team that can present problems. They will give you issues, people. That period, I'm scrolling back up, the January period where, like I said, they lost to United and Chelsea. They were unfortunate. They got a good draw against Fulham, against Spurs. And they've made Spurs work very hard. They've got 4 points off Liverpool this year as well. They're no pushovers. You think just because their players might be championship quality or whatever, you feel that you have any divine right, they're going to slap you in the face, really and truly. I don't think they quite have the quality in the final third, but it's definitely since they've gone 3 at the back, with Tete and Robertson, I like him. I take him as a backup. Robinson, sorry, I'll take him as a backup for Tierney, even though he got sent off against Chelsea. They've got players. They've got one of the lethal players and one of the best players in the Premier League and probably of all time, Jamaican international Bobby Reid, one of the best forwards in the world. My guy, come on, got to shout out the Yardmen them as well. Here we go, people. I mean, when I look at them, I think they've got a good system, a good unit. They work very hard in a positive way. They're aggressive. They will break and try to get forward. They won't. And definitely you should be doing that against Arsenal. If I'm Fulham, I'm sitting there and saying, you know what? Arsenal might have a bit of complacency. They've got a big win in the week. They've got 2 clean sheets in all comps on the spin, They might actually believe, Xhaka might be the left back. Chambers might be long-term the fullback. Chambers, who's obviously been on loan there, go and ask Marie and Holding. They might be the guys. Lacazette, this and that. go and ask questions, you know. And if there's any defense you want to get at, it's Arsenal's, because as much as I think we've improved a slight bit, we're still shaky defensively. We still have an inability to focus, you know, and that's Fulham. You know, you don't sit back and respect Arsenal. You have half a if you don't sit back and respect Man City, then you're not going to do that against Arsenal. Again, there's a fine line between that and stupidity, but you get the point, people. So I'm fearful of Fulham. You know, if we turn up and do half the job, then we can do what we want. But they've got a good bunch of players, and like I said, you look around, I'm sure a couple of them will probably stay at Fulham. Maybe some of them want to play in the Premier League. Like, again, if Lookman's fit, you know, Mitrovic ain't quite been hitting the cylinders, but I'm sure. Bobby Reed, I'm sure. Loftus-Cheek, whether it's Chelsea or whatever, I'm sure. Anya, you know, you're a former Chelsea man, so I'm sure you want to put one over at Arsenal. So it's going to be a difficult game, people, but it is one we should be winning, you know. Fulham are whatever, as much, and I have nothing but respect for Fulham. Don't get it twisted. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. But if I look at it without my admiration for them, they can't buy a win. They're confirmed to go down. The vast majority of that squad is championship quality. You should be winning it. You should be winning it convincingly. Now, football isn't won on paper, but it's that. Like Omar said, it's a London derby as well, you know. Both teams probably have nothing to play for other than pride as well. So again, I want to see pride reflected, because same way I'm saying them players at Fulham are playing to put themselves in the shop window, some of you need to play for that. Some of you, you know, I can't imagine you're going to tip the balance and Arteta's thinking too much. But some of you, if Arteta's not convinced, when you get opportunity, show him your levels. Some man might be complacent, you know, get out of that. Try and set some building blocks for next season. And for me, again, the Europa League and the Prem are two different things, but we're at that point now. Can we just keep winning games, building up momentum, getting a bit of positivity, especially because we've got Una Emre's side in a few weeks, people. And Greece is a decent guy in terms of quality. I think he's all right on the ball. I think he's done all right at Fulham, but that's where it stops. You know, they've got positive players. Fulham could stay up, but boy, again, it's probably unlikely, man. It's unlikely. It's a game we should be winning, and a game we should be winning convincingly, really. But again, time will tell, people. Like I said, people, it's a dead rubber. What they're what 17th, we're 10th, we're 9th. Again, they can't buy a win. Yes, we've got a bit of form going into it now with the Europa League and the Sheffield ones and things like that. We'll have to see, man. You know, obviously, we're probably going to be without Aubameyang. It's come out that he's obviously suffering with malaria. Hopefully, Odegaard is fit. Again, I hope he's fit. For me, you know me, the Sakas, the Smith Rowes, all of these guys, without a doubt, play, people. So we need to stand up to be counted. And I hear people, if people want to go with the same lineup that we've gone with in against Sheffield and against Slavia Prague in the Europa League, barring the changes in the both them games, then I understand it. But for me personally, I want to go 4-2-3-1. You know, put people back in their natural positions and keep going, people. Like, I can't really say that because they've been doing their job. But for me, if we're talking about the lineup now, people, where there's nothing else to mention, if we was to just purely talk about the lineup, folks, it's Leno for me, which you don't know. How could you know? I'd actually say Callum Chambers. You know, I would normally say Cedric, but you deserve it now. In the little chances you've got, you've taken them. Take it against your former loaned club. That's all I ask, Chambers. That's your spot to lose now. I'm not really convinced in Chambers, Bellerin, Maitland-Niles, or Cedric, if I've missed out one long term for that right back spot. But right now, I think it's Chambers to lose. Again, I'm not gonna lie. I think it should be Holding and Marie, people. I think it really should be Holding and Marie. I can't lie. I can't cap. Neither player deserves to be dropped. What's going on there? Sorry, pressing the wrong button. But I can't lie. I would like to see Gabriel and Marie. No disrespect to Holding, but you're never going to see that. So I have to sacrifice him. You know me, I'm Gabriel FC. A lot of bias for Gabriel. So that would be it for me. I know Saka's been standing up to be counted out wide and things, and Xhaka has been holding it up. In a game like this, you'd expect Xhaka to be all right. And really, if I play devil's advocate, has Partey, I don't want to say it, because again, there's very many factors, but has Partey looked better in the midfield because he's not next to Xhaka anymore and he's got that freedom? I'm just playing devil's advocate with you guys and throwing that one out there. A part of me doesn't mind Xhaka getting that again, because a part of me feels you can play a similar lineup in the last two games. But for me, I'm sticking with my guns. I'm putting Saka there to do a job. He's a natural on that role. We've got away with it twice. There's going to be a time when we don't, people. So that would obviously mean standard normal service resumes, people, with Partey. Siri, you're not involved, people. Please allow me. I'm talking with the fans. Siri, why are you trying to embarrass me on the live, man? You don't start popping up randomly when I'm typing the notes. So why are you chatting? But yeah, like I was saying, these two get it from me. I don't know for Odegaard's fitness and again how much he's trained. So again, for me, if Odegaard's fit, he plays. Potentially, maybe even force Smith Rowe out wide, get a bit of creativity. But assuming Smith Rowe, I mean, Odegaard isn't fit, then you know me, he got 60 minutes and he did very well in the Europa League. You know what Smith Rowe gives us in all aspects. And it's crazy how this man's only really been involved like that since December, really. So Smith Rowe gets the nod. The front options for me, they kind of pick themselves really and truly, man. Pepe deserves to keep his place. You cannot drop Lacazette. And for me, Martinelli, again, this is an opportunity for him to get 83 minutes plus 90 minutes and whatnot, potentially score. Make sure you hit the target if you get an opportunity like the last game. Like I said, if Odegaard's fit, Odegaard probably be the one that edges it over Smith Rowe for me, but it is what it is in that regards. That's the lineup I'm going with. What I would like to see, obviously, can we get 3 clean sheets in a row? Can we have no air of complacency? We need to treat this like Barcelona. Like I said, this is a completely different Fulham team. They've got more spirit, more desire. I feel they've got more about them tactically. I feel their game management is better in comparison to when we played them, people. So we're going to need to stand up to be counted without a doubt. Mentally, you stand up, it's half the job. You know, it was great winning yesterday, Thursday evening. Today, it's irrelevant. You know, yesterday evening, savor the moment. Today, we're back again. And this is the mentality we need to have. When we're returning, I don't know if we'd return to England now or we're still in Czech Republic, but when we're returning, you've got Fulham on mind. When you return to training either late today or tomorrow, you've got Fulham in mind. When you wake up on Sunday morning, you're prepared. You know, if you're a fullback, make sure them right wingers are not and left wingers are not doing anything. Win your midfield battles. You know, that defense is quite decent. You know, Anya puts in a shift. Anderson's a very good leader. We're going to need to be at our best to break them down. Same way, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like you lot are saying, it's a team that we should be beating. Mr. Analytical, they could stay up. Mathematically, anything's possible, man. Rafa has said we can still make top 4. We must win. We must win the most of our last 7. We can still get it, but you know, I prefer setting the pace rather than being reactive. You know, we could have been proactive. Coulda, woulda, shoulda's not facts. We're at where we're at, but we've been reactive all season. Now we're being reactive. You know, even if we win all of these games, you're still relying on other people to drop points. So it's too little too late for me. I hear you. As long as it's mathematically possible, still fight for this thing. Realistically, it's Europa League or bust. And let's try and set some building blocks for next season. I hope we can. I hope every team above us loses and we can scumbag it. I hope to God that's the case. But, you know, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet on that. Please make sure you're running up the like buttons, people. So that's all I've got to say in terms of in terms of that, people, really. What are you lot saying before I get into some of the tabs I've got? Run up the likes, people. I would give Saka a rest and play Martinelli. Fair play, but that would probably mean Xhaka left back, which, okay, cool. He said, I'm not a William fan, but I think he starts alongside Lacazette. He needs a goal. And looking back at the first fixture where he was awarded man of the match, he might have that in the back of his mind. I hear that. And Williams, defo, I won't say turned a corner, but he's playing better. I don't think he deserves to start personally. If he starts, he has my praise. Arteta will probably start him, but do I think he's going to be a stronger option than Lacazette, than Pepe, than even Aubameyang, regardless of form, if fit, then Martinelli, then Bukayo Saka, then even Smith Rowe, who's been used out wide on an occasion? I think not really. But who knows? If you get, you know, I hear you. If he scores, you know, lightning could strike twice. Why not, man? Big up the members, them as well. Pepe, Smith Rowe, Saka, Laka has worked really nicely on a few occasions. We've seen it. It was really fun yesterday and stress-free for once. True. Tino, better late than never. Lateness is greatness. Big up the people, them as well. I appreciate the members. I appreciate everyone. Look, nice win for Arsenal. Villarreal will be a very interesting opponent. You know, it might be. NB has said, DG, it might sound mad, but I'm already focused on the semi-finals against Villarreal. For us, I accepted the season was a write-off a long time ago. I hear you, my guy, and I agree with it being a write-off, but just because it's a write-off, for me, I don't want to see people behave like it's a write-off. There's always something to play for, whether it's building blocks for next season or pride, but I hear you. But the best way to focus on the Villarreal one is to win all our games, man. You know, I've seen that happen before. You know, how many times have we sat here this season and we say, yo, they played like that because they're focused on the Europa League? I don't really like that sort of thinking, really. Really and truly, man. Facts, they are a lot better, man. To be fair, let's be fair. William's been playing a lot better of recent, but for me, he doesn't play, man. Morning, Julian. Appreciate you. Ain't worried about nothing. It's a great stream last night, bro. Big result for us. Love for that, my guy. Big up all the Kenyans. Then please make sure you're hitting the like button. You're checking out the pin message and you're doing the rest of that because people, as you lot know, watch along business come Sunday, people. The grind don't stop. The work rate don't stop. I see only one person's hit the like button. Big up to you. Big up Ak as well. You know, let me hit the like button as well. A bit sad that I have to like my own vid, but it is what it is. People not low. All right, we got 3 people. If you're one of the 2 people excluding me, 3 people excluding me that's liked it, shout out to you, man. But make sure you've hit the like button and all of those things. Help, do what you can, man. You know, say you want to see the thing grow. It's only going to grow with you lot, people. So that's that one there. Shameless plug, cheeky plug, man. Peter has said, I still think we can creep into 6th, 7th, or hopefully something, but we have to rely on other results going our way. I hope so, my guy. My heart bleeds for that, but my brain says it's gone, innit? My brain says it's gone. What was that? I can't remember the game. What was the game, man? It was just before West Ham or a couple of games before West Ham. That's when I said, you know what? It's a myth now, innit? It's an absolute myth. Come on. I hope Gabriel starts. What have you said, man? Good morning, DG. Good night last night. First time we have dominated a full 90 minutes for a long period. Facts, you know, not too many times we've done that. I spoke about Reece Nelson. I love him to bits. I want him to succeed. I want him to get game time, but I just feel if it stays like this, you have to either go out on loan or go somewhere permanently where you can settle down roots and play elsewhere because you're not playing in it. Minutes are currency, you know, you're not playing. And even if you do play, you're not going to play significant minutes or you're not going to have any chance of playing a couple of games on the spin. So how are you really going to improve? How are you really going to get match sharpness and all of these things incorporated into your game is probably wishing on several stars, really and truly. You know, Marcus said, with rumors of Leno leaving after his contract, is Ryan going to get game time soon? I don't know. I would like to see Matt Ryan make another appearance, but I don't see Arteta changing things anytime soon. I like Lamina as well, but there's bare players that have played for big clubs that I just think are effing shit. He's not one of them, but facts. Do you think because it's worked twice, he'll play Xhaka left back for the rest of the season? Well, Xhaka's done it, and I think at least until another left back becomes fit or Xhaka has that game where he looks out of his depth and has to really defend and whatnot, then I think he'll persist with it. I don't think he's prepared to move Bukayo Saka because of what Bukayo Saka gives us, which he's not necessarily wrong. You know, he's not wrong at all. Peter has said, I'd like Danny to get another 23 flicks under his belt against a lower quality opponent. Any big news today? Not that I can see, my guy. Love for the super chat, my guy, but come on now, man. Like, come on now. Pattern up, man. Bro, I know I always fall for them, but bait ones like that. Come on now, bro. Come on now, man. Come on now, man. Come on now, man. Fix up, bro. Be a bit more creative, brother. Like I know it's Friday, I know it's early, but pattern up, man. Be a bit more on point than that, man. You telling me you're telling me you was in your father's ball sack for how many years, and your mother carried you for 9 months for you to come in my chat and do that? Bet she wish she swallowed, man. It's a bit of an idiot thing. But anyways, people, moving on. Good try, man. Love for the 199 regardless, man. Is what it is. You know. I think Joe Lopez will be extremely out of his depth. I probably won't do that. I'm hoping Balogun's announced today, you know. I don't know that. I'm hoping it's today. Still, what better way, you know? We got a little win in the Europa League. He got little minutes here and there yesterday. What better way, you know? And then we go forward. And I would like to see Balogun on the bench tomorrow because there is no Aubameyang and whatnot. I know we're allowed less people, but you get the point, man. Bro, he tried to style me, bro. He tried the thing, bro. Some of them are bait, bro. Some of them are bait. Like, pattern up, man. Arsenal do love it. They do love it. And my youth videos will come out today. I know I'm extremely late. Under 18, sorry, we'll be playing tomorrow. Well, today. So make sure you're aware of Arsenal's Twitch stuff because they'll be streaming it there, man. Just kind of answered that. I think it will be today, but I don't know that, bro. I don't know that for true. Steve, big up the members. A super chat we can read out. Somebody who's actually got a life. Somebody who's not a sado, you know. My man out there who sent that super chat, you should feel ashamed of yourself, man. Ashamed that of all the things you could do in this world, you're wasting time doing that. I don't know if you're 50 years of age or 10 years of age. Either way, brother, look in the mirror, slap yourself because you're unique. You shouldn't want to be unique, you know? You shouldn't want to do that, bro. You should want to fix up. You know, I guarantee your younger brother or your older brother, they're out here making moves, or your girl's probably entertaining next man's DMs while you're doing fuckery like that. But let's carry on, people. Steve has said, I think the Premier League games are important for Arsenal because they are chances to gain confidence before the massive games against Villarreal. Facts. I'm not here for that. Yo, where we were trying to win Europa League, that this just means it's a freestyling thing in the Prem. No, because you're losing them minutes in the leg, you're losing their confidence, like you said. You know, I still think, you know, top four is mathematically possible, but it's gone. For me, can we set some building blocks for next season? Can we give Balogun a chance? Can we give Martinelli a chance? You know, can we keep blooding a couple of young players? Can we look to find some systems or balances or what Arteta wants to do long term? Can we set some building blocks? I wouldn't quite say a pre-season, but can we use it as a pre-season, if that makes sense? Oh no, man. I don't know. We have to see. I mean, it's a bit of a madness. Can you put subtitles on your videos? Also, just subbed. Love for the sub, my guy. As for subtitles, I swear that YouTube, there's a setting to run that yourself, man. So run that, my guy, man. How come people don't talk about Nelson? Because he's not playing. You know, you're out of sight, out of mind. When you're barely on the bench, you know, when you're barely playing, you're out of sight, out of mind, you know. Until we lose a game, then it's always the man who's not involved, not necessarily Nelson. Just imagine how we could progress as a club with that Europa League in our hands come the end of the season, Champions League and better players come surely. Well, realistically, you'd imagine that. I would say better players should be becoming regardless. And I'd also say surely the way Arsenal are at now, you know, the bulk of our business in the summer, it shouldn't these signings shouldn't be affected whether we get Europe or not. Obviously, it can sway things. Obviously, there's creme de la creme players that might come. Obviously, the financial impact that can have for us would be good. You know, it's well documented how much we've earned, you know, since getting to this stage in the Europa League. Surely, man, it'll be a good platform, but is it going to be a platform? Because FA Cup isn't Europa League, but considering Arteta came in what was a terrible season, you know, I would have thought for the club, for the players, like I always say, that should have sparked it. Okay, cool. We've been failing all season. We've had a bit of success. This feels good. Imagine what it feels like to win the Prem or aspire to win the Prem or qualify for the champs or whatever in it. I thought that would have been it for them. I thought the club would have said, all right, cool. We've peed about now. Let's back the manager. Let's get some decent players. Let's do what we can. Instead, maybe that put a false sense of security. We thought we've got over things that we haven't got over, sort of thing. So I do think we win that Europa League on one hand. I would like the penny to drop and be serious, but that might be complacency. Especially because it would be for Arteta, that's 2 trophies in 2 years. That club might say, you know what, these players aren't as bad as we thought they are. You know, it's no fluke. You know, some of them have won couple FA Cups as well still, you know. So it is what it is in that regard. We love it, man, but that's why we love the club, man. To be fair, some people do, you know, just to send love, but certain man just doing a madness, man. Mike, bro, do you know what it is, yeah? When you're just chatting and you're just answering questions and you're just trying to show love, did these things happen? Like the maths debate or one that got me, and I was it was early in the morning. I only clocked fair play. It was funny when I sat there and deeped it. Like I only clocked about 7 hours early. I was like, wait, maths debate. You fucking twat. Like, all right, cool. But at the time, I was like, whoa, what are you talking about maths and debate? He's like, all right, cool. You know what? That one there's a tried and tested one. So you see me, what I try to do now. If your name looks beaky, man, I just saying the first initial in it, you know, like man, not really trying nothing else because it's a madness. It's a madness, you know. Shout out to Robbie though, man. I forgot about it. I'll pre it, man. Your work rate is brazy, bro. That's the minimum, innit? You know, man ain't got no mad graphics and mad subscribers and mad backing. So the minimum is that I can make sure I can be consistent and I can turn up every day. Like I'm no footballer, but everything I demand of Arsenal or ask Arsenal, I don't ask them to do anything I'm not prepared to do in my personal life. If that makes sense, man. Bro, we don't have this is what I'm telling you, true say, man, and that's a fitting name. One name I will say, I keep saying it. Starting 11's one thing, depth is another issue. On one hand, football is fickle right now. The language is, Xhaka, adaptable left back, but Chambers versatile, and the rest of it. If the game, and I'm happy, but if it goes sideways, shoehorning, it turns into shoehorning and penny pinching and not addressing areas and not plugging gaps. Right now, because of how Xhaka's playing right now, no one's talking about Arteta messing up, Arteta in the club not bringing in a left back in January. If it gets a bit shaky, why'd you let Kolasinac go? Why you let Maitland-Niles go? Why won't Saka play there? Do you get it? Football's a fickle game. I'm not saying people are wrong to say these things, but it is what it is. Big up yourself, my guy, man. The big teams always want to win. It's mentality, facts. Paul was saying, deluded, your banter has me in stitches. I appreciate that, Paul. You know what? You lot call me boring. Some of you call me funny. I'm just me, man. I love Xhaka as well, but beyond being a squad player, again, I love Bear players here, but they're not going to take us to the next level. True say, I'm loving the name. I'm loving the comments, bro. Pepe Dino, our stocks in Pepe. We're not quite going to see the bread we need to see, but we've made a calm investment. Pepe stocks have been on the floor for a while. He's now turning it over. And for me, what I like about Pepe, defensively, he's improved. Aerial drills, he's improved. But for me, he's in the game for the full 90. Even when Pepe was struggling a bit and you could see his quality, he might not be in the game for 70 minutes. He might dribble past bare man and that's getting clipped up or he scores. He's in the game all the time, man. He has already signed. We're just awaiting official confirmation. Hopefully Balogun can. That's a thing as well. Give Balogun little minutes from now to the end of the season. Again, I don't know for substantial, but let's try and. The club need to try and assess his level. All right, cool. Does he need to be in around the first team? Is he ready for a loan? I think he's ready for first team football. If he's gonna get, if he's gonna replace Eddie Nketiah in that, he's that sort of third choice striker. He's in and among the squad. And to be fair to Eddie, there was a time he was starting deservedly so. He did earn his spot in the team. Cool if Balogun can do that. But for me, I think Balogun's wasted a year. I think Balogun needs senior football somewhere. I think Balogun needs to be out of his comfort zone. Don't get twisted. I love watching him at 23's level, captain the team, all of those things, but I need him outside of his comfort zone. He can score. I know he can score goals at that level. I know he can bully these men. I know he's faster than them. I need him to play against someone. Once again, he tries to go past. They barge him into Timbuktu. Okay, I can't try use strength anymore. Let me try something else. He tries to breeze past someone's quicker than him. Okay, pace ain't gonna allow me today. Football's up here, people, and you never want to be a one-trick pony because it always works until it don't. Look at Dele Alli. My Spurs mates, I used to always say, based on just because I watched him at MK Dons, what Spurs are doing with Dele Alli, it's not sustainable. He's playing up front, he's playing off the left. It's great, he's scoring goals, but it's not helping him in terms of IQ. He's a midfielder, he's not able to really play there. Like with Dyer, centre half, lo and behold, when the wheels come off, Spurs will find something, but then man, they're left in the leech. Whether you feel Dele Alli's been hard done by Spurs or whatever, looking at it, does he get in the best Spurs team tactically? Not that I want to talk about Spurs. I don't know if he's one of their best midfield three if it was going to be a 4-2-3-1. For me, I'd put Son on the left, came through the middle. And I don't know for the right, Moura looks good in that 10, even more in the 10. Dele's not getting that, So again, not to make it about Spurs, but this is what I mean by you don't just want to rely on one thing. You want to consistently develop. And this is why when fans say things like, the fans fail to understand that it's a squad game, fail to understand that certain things are not sustainable. Just like when it's completely different. But when we was winning under Unai Emery and when you looked in the details, we're turning around in the second half. We're not breaking down teams. Nobody cared about it when we won. Nobody cared. You were called a hater. You lose. My thing is this simply is that people only like the narratives that suits them. People don't like balance. People don't like the truth. It's one of those ones there, people. Big up everybody, man. You lot gas me, man. I always think it's too early. No one's going to be here. To see 263 of you locked in, seeing super chats, members, consistent viewers, Twitch people, seeing all of you lot in here. Again, this is why I'm consistent, because I know that there's at least one person out there that I'm going to bring value to their day simply just by talking about football. And they're the sort of things that keep me going, man. Odegaard and Oba will be back for the semi. Should we start them? Well, if fit, Aubameyang on current form, probably not, but it's a lot of time till then. Odegaard has every chance if he's fit. For me, it's between him and Smith Rowe if you're not going to force one out there, man. Would it be a bad idea to rest the likes of Laka Partey in case they get injured? To be fair, that's why I was kind of onto Arteta. I thought he could have willed them off quicker yesterday, but at the end of the day, we need to win the game against Fulham. Minute you rest these players, the result don't go our way. It's a bit shaky, you know. At the end of the day, you need to play them really, you know. If maybe a Martinelli up front, if you're gonna rest Lacazette and do something else, could be it. I don't know. Big up old Dane. He said it's 6 a.m. where I am, but I have to tune in. Little football report and some studying. I appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. I appreciate the lurkers, them as well. Thoughts on Eddie Nketiah? I think that sets me up perfectly, my guy. Big up yourself, Ab. That sets this up perfectly, man. Not quite as perfect because you know me, I gotta get a little timestamp in, and it's looking a bit bare in terms of timestamps, people. Eddie to West Ham. Now, my thoughts on Eddie Nketiah before I read out this article. I don't think he's as bad as people make out. I think people are writing him off just as a footballer unnecessarily. I get it. You know, he's probably not Arsenal starting quality. For me, just because you're not a historic Aubameyang and a 20 league goal man doesn't mean you can't be used in the squad. There might be 10, 20 games in the league. You make a difference. You might only get set 10 goals in 20 odd appearances, but them 10 goals might have been winners together with someone like Aubameyang with the 20 league goals and ideally more key wingers and that chipping in. He can help us, obviously, across all comps, not just Eddie. If it was Balogun that's going to step up, you know, I want Martinelli to be the next heir to that striker throne. I like Eddie, you know. I think he's decent. I think we can't write off him, man. I think Arsenal, if we care about being self-financing, I probably sell him. But I do think there is logic where I don't think he's going to sign a new deal. You know, he's got the same agent as Balogun. He plays in the same position. He's 2 years older and he's not got football. But I would hear the logic in that Eddie's given a new deal. He's loaned out to a West Ham or a Premier League team or whatever because he's probably too old now. Not you're never too old, but probably too old now to show us what we need to show us. But, you know, he might in the next 3 years become a certified striker, which could be good for Arsenal for two reasons. We get a first team player back or we make buck, you know. Eddie might turn into a fairly household name in the Premier League at West Ham. Again, we might not think he's levels, but it's about making cash, especially these Highland boys. Not everybody's going to do the Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe was in the Joe Willock and Eddie bracket, and then he started playing. Not everyone's going to be Saka, Smith Rowe, to a degree, Martinelli, who didn't come from Highland. You know, certain men need to be sold. Some men are going to be squad players, first teamers, whatever. Some men are going to have to be sold, you know. If we're selling Eddie, cool, I don't mind. Nelson, cool, I don't mind. Maitland, cool. Joe, I don't mind, as long as they're sell-on fees. I like Eddie, but he's probably not good enough. You know, he ain't seen consistent form. I don't think there's enough general play. I don't think he's played enough. I don't think he's improved physically, but I don't think the hold-up play is good enough. I don't think his general play is good enough. Like Martinelli, Tyrese, John Jules, and Balogun all eclipse him in that. Obviously, he hasn't had too many chances historically, but he's played enough times for Arsenal Football Club now. And for me personally, that, you know, being a hot shot in under 23s, we've been here with Mavididi and Akpom. I hear it, but it's not correlated, you know. And sometimes he's just been a poor taker of chances, like Everton away last season. Well, this season, better yet. I like Eddie. I don't think he's as bad as people make out. But he's 21. He needs to go somewhere where he can actually play football and consistently. Like I said, you can't be drawing too many conclusions on a man at 21. I actually hear it. If you give him a new deal, loan him out a couple of years, seeing if he becomes certified, he might turn into a 30, 40 million pound player in that we make peas. You know, not all of this has been 90 minutes, but there's no coincidence. He's only found the back of the net once in 15 apps. Now, again, to be fair to him, it's not all 90 minutes, but he hasn't taken his opportunities. He's been a bit part player. Like I said, Everton, he was terrible. He did get an assist against Southampton, but he was terrible. You know, meaty minutes prior to that, you know, he got 58 against Sheffield. I can't remember that game. Let me not cap. Ironically, he's been linked with West Ham. He saved us against West Ham, where again, remember I told you, look, these games there, we were scumbagging them. You know, people were not talking about the form. I'm sure he also saved us against Leicester. Whatever way you shape it, yeah. You know, he hasn't played enough. You know, you're part of the team, but you're not. I think Eddie's got complacent. You should have went out on loan and played somewhere, forced the issue. Whatever way you look at it, you know, it didn't work for him at Leeds, and he came back and it kind of did. But, bro, 12 goals in 62 apps. It's not levels, really and truly. And not that I can discount goals, but the vast majority of them are League Cup and Europa League and the rest of them. They're not really in certified games. Like, I can't really tell you a big game Eddie Nketiah has scored in, and that's not me trying to be disrespectful to him. just don't think he has enough about him. But I don't think people should write him off and that. I like him, but it is what it is, man. And the academy is what he can leave with his head held high. He's progressed from the academy. He's played 60 odd times for Arsenal Football Club by the age of 21. I swear he was part of the squad when we won the FA Cup. Cool, go and do your thing. You want to play for England? Go and do your thing. You know, for Eddie, he needs to prove he can replicate it. The England record at 21s is gazy. Go and prove you can do it, or if you can do it at senior level. You know, on one hand, I don't think Eddie's going to be a bad boy striker like that, but I do think he can be a Premier League striker. And at the end of the day, when I see Alan Shearer, Michael Owen, Ian Wright all like you, there's got to be something there. You know, I don't think he's going to be mentioned in the same bracket as them, but there's got to be some reason they rate him. Now, I don't listen to just because man rated them, man have to rate them. You know, I rate Sir Alex Ferguson very heavy. He said Phil Jones will be one of the most important players in Man United's history. Sometimes man get it wrong. So I'm not too sure, but I like Eddie, but we need to stop holding people's hands. And I just feel I'd rather give Balogun might not even prove to be the answer, but I feel we got to try something in it. I'd rather start Project Martinelli, training him up to be a striker, seeing what Balogun's about, assessing if there's a next striker we can bring into the game. Because I don't think, you know, you're going to be judged on goals. If Eddie was scumbagging hella goals, no one could say nothing in it. If you're scoring goals, I don't care about general play. If you're scoring 20 league goals, I can find an exception. You don't come with no goals. You don't come with mad general play. You know, there's not really too much about him when he's not scoring. That's the age-old thing. You're going to be judged on goals, but it's about what you're bringing to the table when you're not. And I just think we have to cut loose right now. And again, we're all, myself included, I do think we're going to see Eddie leave in some capacity, but is it an assurance? How do we know? Arteta might be crazy, but he might be sitting there and saying, you know what, Eddie, forget the Balogun deal. You and Balogun are going to get chances. Martinelli too. I don't know. You know, Eddie's clearly liked by Arteta. He always says he's upset when he can't give him minutes, but same way, if you thought a man was levels and could help you, you would give him minutes. And West Ham, go on West Ham. Go on West Ham. Come take him, man. West Ham have been given hope a deal could be done for Eddie Nketiah this summer after fellow striker Balogun signed a new contract. Apparently, there was concrete interest in Eddie Nketiah last January. Is that still there? I don't know. For him, it still means he stays in London. Let's not get it twisted. West Ham are a big club. Again, you know, for us, it could mean a bit of peace. I'm not saying you're going to be Jesse Lingard, but you see what happens when a manager believes in you. And for Eddie, I think it's time that he gets out of that situation. I think Eddie doesn't understand. I don't think Eddie's really had expectation placed on him. You know, I think a couple of these players have got comfortable at Arsenal. You look at Nelson, you look at Joe, you look at Eddie. That's why you man are not advancing. You let Arsenal gas you being part of the team and that. You know, Arteta was telling Nelson, go out on loan. Lo and behold, this is the season. Eddie, again, living for these phone signs. They're not too often, people. He needs to go somewhere where he can develop, where he's actually going to be able to play consistently, people. You know, apparently we refused offers again. Maybe in January we didn't know what going for Balogun, so it had to be a thing. Balogun looks set to stay, and Nketiah's got the same agent, and you know he's probably leaving, people. So that's all the article has said, people. You know, Eddie, when he went off with England, he kind of told us how he felt. He said it's been a difficult last month or so. Haven't played as much as I would have liked. I've been working hard and being dedicated, which adds to the frustration. But I have a great opportunity in front of me, and you know. You lot are not silly, you know. You must know your chances are going to be limited, especially with, you know, Aubameyang's still here for a couple of years. Lacazette's here for the next year minimum. So, yeah, man. And I was about to use this guy, you know. You look at Tammy, you know, clearly Chelsea are linked with Haaland and them things there. I don't know how much they rate Tammy, but I do know because of how they developed him and his loan spells, he's a £50 million player. Now, Chelsea don't need funds like that, and I think they should keep Tammy. I like Tammy, but let's just say, you know what, Tammy, F off, you're gone. That's 50 million. Mason Mount, if they ever said it, F off. How much money? And that's what we need to do. Again, Mason Mount, Reece James, Tammy, they should all be part of it. But do you get what I mean? We need to be doing that sort of stuff to be self-financing. Funds come out of nowhere suddenly. You get it? Like if we train people up to a level, you know, we should have been training Eddie, Maitland-Niles, Nelson, and Joe to a level where minimum you can say, all right, give us 20 million. Suddenly, I know it's not as easy as that, but that's 80 million out of nowhere. Now, that can be added towards what you want to do in the central midfield, what you might want to do with a right back, whatever area we want to address, people. So that's my thoughts on Eddie. I don't think he's as bad as people make out. But again, when you've got Tyrese, John Jules, Balogun, Martinelli, hopefully Aubameyang finds his form, Lacazette, every game we're asking ourselves contract. I actually would like a new striker brought in. You know, I think Arteta does. So I think it's peak for Eddie. Like, it's just there's nothing else other than that. Like, this is real life, innit? This is real football now. You're not doing the business. You're not in the team. It don't matter if you're academy player in that now. It's sink or swim, man. You know, I wouldn't mind him signing a new deal to protect his resale value. But if I'm Eddie Nketiah and if his agent knows what's good for him, he gets him a new club where he's allowed to play consistently. It wouldn't make sense for Eddie, in my opinion, staying at Arsenal unless Arteta has said something we don't know. That's me personally, anyways. But it is what it is. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting that like button. I love how you say things like living for these phones. Like, bro, I'm being real. Like, I like Eddie, but it's just a little like it just seems like as an outsider, man, are just living to do the phone thing. You know, S, you lot always kill me when I speak on Lacazette. Lacazette is moving mad. I would say to play devil's advocate. Maybe, with this form, you move on to Lacazette. You move on to Callum Chambers. El Nene had a little bit of form. You move on to El Nene. It does feel like Arsenal would do the halfway house thing. I love Lacazette to bits. He's a bad boy footballer. He's playing well. But am I going to get this next year? It seemed like the universal decision was to give Aubameyang a new deal. Now everyone and their nan swears on their life. They never said that. So again, football's a funny old game. You can big up Spurs, my guy. You can big up Spurs. You're allowed to talk your thing, you know. And I don't mind him being a squad player for lower priority games. But for me, like you said, Trusa, I'd rather sell him, make a little piece on that, sell on fee. We keep it moving, really and truly. You lot are harsh, man. They're saying Eddie's running out on data. Allow Eddie, man. Allow Eddie, man. Come on, stylish. Big up yourself. Where you been though, man? You said Mandem won yesterday, so no excuse not to hit the like button. Mandem are moving lazy. Trust me, my guy, man. All this content and the guys are not taking me. We're at 165 likes. The goal is 200. Come on, people. We can move that. We can do a lot better in that regards. I want to see Miguel Ziz. I think Miguel Ziz will get more minutes, man. I think he'll get more minutes. And generally, away from Arsenal, Eddie Nketiah is 21 years of age. The penny might drop in the next few years, Again, for Eddie, he's probably of an age where it's not going to happen at Arsenal, but generally in your career, it could still happen, really. And he's only going to develop by playing substantial minutes, and you're not going to get that at Arsenal. Minutes are currency. You're not going to get it. I do think Partey's. I see where you're coming with S, but I think Partey's cool. I think the only game I think Partey's looked a bit shaky for me was in the first leg of the last stage of the Europa League. I think he's again. I don't know, and it might just. I can't really say this because everybody's playing well of late with the two lineups we've gone with, but it looks like Partey just looks a bit better when he's like not the defensive mid, but he's the defensive sort of guy, and you've got Ceballos slightly in front of him. I don't think he's look assured of himself when he's necessarily right dead next to Xhaka in that. Not to play any agendas and all of these sort of things there, man. Bro, I think Nelson's going to be a bad boy, but I just feel with Nelson, Arteta told you to go on loan in August. I can't really be surprised you're not playing because that tells me, man, I don't believe in you really and truly. There's got to be some reason you're not playing, really. You might just be hard done by. Like, it's upsetting seeing him seeing him play under 23s here and there. Like, bro, you should be playing consistently. I want to put my arm around him. I still think that guy's going to have a future somewhere, but not everybody's going to make it here. And things can change in a year, man. A lot of things can change. I don't want to give up on Nelson, really. But not everyone can make it here. It is what it is, man. Bro, Pogba killed me. DG podcast, Deluded podcast is dropped. If you're on Spotify, go and check that. I offered my extended opinions on that there, man. To be fair, I'd say West Ham are pretty stupid if they're going to spend 20 million on Nketiah when they could get Eduard. But if it was us, it would be good, man. Why not? Daniel, there's a bunch of players, man. There's Tyrese, there's Patino, there's Brooke, there's Daniel, there's Amari, there's Kiddo Taylor Hart, there's Zaynlon Louise. There's bare players, man. There's bare players can do their thing, man. There's bare players doing good things, man. Very proud of all these Arsenal young players, man. And I believe that as well, Jimmy. In his role, I think Pogba on ability, he's one of the best in the world, man. He's a certified guy, bro. Pogba's got ability, bro. Like, when you've got ability, you look like, listen, Pogba is certified, bro. Like, I don't want to go into depth, but it's just been sad the way the man's been treated and all of those sort of things, man. You know, Eddie can't be the main man for us. Like, Eddie being the main man would be suicide. But just because you can't be the main man generally, it don't mean you can't be a decent squad player. Do you get it? Kay has said, deluded, your thoughts on Mavropanos, should we bring him back? I think Mavropanos, and I've said this several times, based on how he's played on loan, I think he at least deserves a week or so in pre-season to maybe convince Arteta that he can be utilised. Do you get it? But I think he's going to head out on loan again to Stuttgart or Germany or Premier League or whatever. I think one thing that's going to go against him is, you know, he's of a similar age or better yet stage in his development as a Gabriel and a Saliba being young centre halves. I feel Arteta will naturally, because there's been more of a significant investment on those two, will lean up on those two. I feel one thing that goes against Mavropanos is I don't think in terms of, you listen, it's sad to say because defenders have to defend, but I think I lost my trail of thought there. I do think that Mavropanos is, it's not that he can't play passes. I just think in comparison to some of these other guys on the books, I think that goes against him. And I think that's one thing that will go against him in Arteta's book. It is what it is in that regards, man. Nah, to be fair, I hear that, but he has started games, man. He has got starts and he hasn't taken them chances. You know, on that, let's actually look. 320 of you in here, people. Please hit the like button. Respect the thing. Let's actually look, man. We can actually look. When did he get into the first team at Arsenal? He's played 2,000 odd minutes. We can further scrutinize this, I'm sure. So sure. I'm so sure. Big up transfer mark if it loads. I'm so sure we should be able to scrutinize this. Move, man. He is a bit part player, I agree, Jay, but I do think he's had 90 minutes and not taking him. Obviously, primarily Europa League. And this is where I think Eddie went wrong, because these Europa Leagues are only coming around occasionally. So in between these Europa League fixtures, what are you doing? You know, remember that year him and Joe Willock batted up Blackpool? That's the year them man there should have went out on loan. Minutes are currency, you know, and I do think you get a false sense of importance when you're playing and training with the stars and things. You should believe you're an Arsenal player. You're paid by Arsenal, but you ain't done nothing yet. Fair play, you know, it's a significant minutes in the Europa League. That's his thing. You know, in the Premier League, again, bit part player. What year is this? Bagged against Burnley. Oh, this was the last Wenger year, innit? When he bagged against Burnley and Southampton and that. Shout out to him. But you know, he's got a couple minutes there, you know, again, a handful of them, but 85 there. To be fair with you, I remember being at the Emirates. These were the times Saka was playing left back. He had a fucking fantastic game. Apologies for the language against Everton. I mean, and he also played well against Newcastle. That's where I remember I always said I said Nketiah has the capacity to surprise a few. Them times they were surprising me because I think one thing he learned at Leeds, he come back a bit tonk. He came back a bit ready to throw himself around centre halves them times there. But the juice fell out, people. The juice is gone now, innit? So yeah, but at the same time, 90, 85. This is what I mean by whatever you say about Nketiah. He forced his way into the team once upon a time, you know. City is what it is. He has had some consistent minutes, but generally he's been a bit part, man. He was terrible in this game where he got 76, held the bench numerous times. He's not been in the squad. So he has had minutes, but I agree with Jay, man. It's difficult. And that's where I think you've got to look at it objectively. You can't be just hating on the man. I do think people just hate on Eddie for no reason. And half of them were, you know, we're breading him and things like that. Come on. Bro, Jude Bellingham's a baller, man. Bro, he should, bro. He needs to go and play, man. It's nothing in it. And this is where I'm telling you, broski, minutes are currency. This is why are you staying? How much time have you wasted being on the cusp of the first team? You know, it's great scoring against a lower league opposition, getting tweets from the fans and all of those things occasionally, but you're not playing consistently. There's bare players, man. There's bare players, man. I don't like to answer them questions because, again, I just like to watch youth players. But for me, it'd be Brook, under 18s right back. I think him and Daniel got every chance. Every chance. We're so close to 200. Please make sure you hit up them like buttons, people. 199. Who's going to be the 200th? There's 305 of you. You lot are on a lazy thing, man. Hey, Ramadan Mubarak to everyone out there, especially all the Muslim viewers, them that are fasting and things like that. Bro, he might become elite somewhere. I don't know for the word elite, but if he becomes a better striker, this is where you need a sell-on fee. This is where I'm saying we need to not draw conclusions, you know. I'm not necessarily against giving him a new deal, loaning him out, trying to increase that resale value because, you know, suddenly him and Mavropanos, just two names, they might not make it here. But if you could grab a 30, 40, 50 for Eddie Nketiah, you can grab a 20 plus for Mavropanos. You slap that in with a Joe, with a Nelson, any other academy players that aren't quite level. Suddenly, you're self-financing. Funds are coming out of the sky rather than we need to sell our good players. Because it just feels like, as Arsenal fans, right, lately, we've been selling our good players because the players that we have that we need to get gone, no one's touching them with a barge pole. You couldn't pay people to sell them. It's one of them. Who knows, man? Who knows, man? Maybe try get them one day as going in the summer. I made history last summer with them ones there, in it, people. No matter what happens, I'm very proud that, shout out to Tyrese, Brooke, Kion Edwards, Imari, Trey Coyle, couple play. Even though it was an written article, Ben Cottrell as well. He's one of the first that started messing with a guy. There's better Arsenal players I'd like to do it with. There's, I've done a couple of videos. If I've missed them out, it's all love. But one thing I give them, these Arsenal players that I've done it with, big up them people, because they've never, Nathan as well. They were all for it. I just literally asked them. They're like, "Yo, come, let's do boom, 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 boom." No acting at all. Like, you wouldn't think these guys are, all on the internet and things. Very humble, and it's testament to their families. It's testament to themselves. It's testament to the club, man. Really and truly, really appreciate all of them. Hopefully, we get them things going again, man. I don't know if Nketiah is going to be Gnabry's level, but you're allowed that. I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal, my dude. I think people need to allow Leno, but if the team, there's 1,000 things to fix before we fix Leno. If those 1,000 things were fixed, personally, I'd be looking at a goalie. That's just me, innit? I would like to see him start. Bro, it's not even the first time, bro. I don't think Arteta can claim credit, because Emery was shoehorning Xhaka there, really. Like, we've seen that before. Like, it's like when eventually Xhaka goes centre back under Arteta, man. Serious question, DG. Problem with the players is lack of motivation, concentration. What should we do to solve this? The players have to solve it, man. I think new players, new mentality, car. Some of them have been around the block now. I just think you need a new thing. I don't think if the penny, at some point in a life, penny has to drop for the individual. You can't keep telling man something. It's one of them ones there, man. I agree. It might go against him. I wouldn't give Lacazette a new deal, but again, every performance he puts in, how can you deny him that? Arguably, there's never been a better time to put certain players in the shop window, as much as I rock with Lacazette. It's one of them sort of things there. You're right. Get soon, better Aubameyang very soon. Hopefully Aubameyang, forget football and being available to play a match just for his damn health. He's a father. It's up to Nelson, but I don't know. I just know Nelson can be a good player. I don't know for Gnabry and all these sort of things, but I just think he's got ability. But ability, everybody's got ability. Everyone's got capacity. Every footballer's got ability. It's what you do with it. We've been seeing people with ability. It's what you do with it. Oh, Donnarumma, apparently he's going Juventus, so myth in it. Says it all there, in it, really and truly. That one there is gone. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, people. At 214 likes, 300 of you locked in, people. Next target is 300. It is what it is in that regards, folks. Where else have we got? So yeah, we've spoken about Eddie. It's not really too much. I don't really care about what Emery has said on the build up to Arsenal at this moment in time. To be fair, I would make Xhaka a squad player. Like I just said, there's a million things I would do before I look at Leno. But if those a million things could be done, I'd be looking at a goalie, because I'm not convinced with Leno. I think he's a good shot stopper. I don't think he's a bad goalie. Please don't misunderstand me. But yeah, man. I've done a video on such, my guy. I've done a video on such, and I would like to see it, because again, we can't go toe to toe with household names. Why not get some stars for tomorrow? Hopefully he does open his checkbook, but are you going to wish on that? Jack has said, deluded, do you know a player from the youth academy called Daniel Ballard? He's playing for our national team and he's a monster, bro. He should come back and be around the first team. He's a good centre-half. I don't think he's going to get an opportunity at Arsenal purely because there's too many centre-halves on the books. For me, yeah, man, I think he should be looking to play in the Championship next year. I would like all the Haaland boys to get an opportunity, but I don't want to see Lacazette leave as well, but we have to stop the storylines at some period, my guy. I'm not saying you are, but at some time we just have to make business decisions, whether they work or not. It just feels at times that Arsenal are in a bit of a halfway house. It's like players always look like they're dead gone. They'll play well. Now they're back in this thing. Players are playing well. Then they want to sell them. It's like we don't make decisions on players. Like sometimes it might be wrong to sell some of these young players. It might be right. But I would just like to see the club double down on decisions this summer. Distribution not that great, not vocal enough, spreads nervousness, very good shot stopper, but sometimes he saves shots into dangerous areas. Yeah, man, because half of them are not levels. Like it's as simple as that. If Leno's a world-class keeper, the bar is on the floor. Every keeper makes mistakes, some more than others. If Leno is no disrespect to Leno, he's a good keeper, but world-class, don't think you know what the word is, fella. Like, and this ain't me trying to get at him. Like, come on now, world-class. Leno, world class. Come on now, man. Come on now. You don't believe that deep down. That's a massive shout, you know. Massive shout. World class. Massive shout, brother. I don't know, man. I'd say for Matt Smith, he's learned how football can be. You know, he's riding high at Swindon, doing his thing. You know, Charlton, there's a new manager in there. You're out of the team suddenly. You know, that's what football's about. And that's for me why, whether it's worked at some of these under 23s on loan have had better loan spells than others. But at the same time, you know, I think they've learned a lot more. I like Eduard personally. I like him. I think he's got a lot in terms of his general play. He is good for us. I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's overrated now, if anything, personally. But hear that. I think until Chambers has a bad game, that's his spot to lose. But I still want a right back. Still want a right back. First choice right back. Exactly. And this ain't no Leno hate campaign. It's just that world class bracket is thrown around way too often. You know, I do think Leno hasn't been given a certified defense. I think Leno, you could hide some deficiencies with a consistent defense as well, because it's been chopping and changing. But I think Leno's dropped a performance, not quite to a Aubameyang standard, but I do think his performances have dropped off a bit, man. Really. Is what it is in that regards, people. But we've been here an hour. It's Friday, people. I can't lie. I cannot lie to you lot, people. I haven't eaten today. I've done this on an empty stomach. I'm going to do that now. This is why you keep seeing me drinking water and green tea. I did it for the cause, man. I did it for the cause. It don't matter, people. It doesn't matter. We do what we need to do for you guys. Please, on that note, though, make sure you're on the watch along. You know, make sure you're there. I'll drop the link there once again. You know, I appreciate everybody that's been here. Please make sure you hit the like button as well. I'm gonna have to love you and leave you, people, and enjoy what's left of you lot's Friday, man. I'm knackered, people. I say knackered. I'm hungry. Maybe I could continue, but I'm just too hungry for this. So I'm gonna get out of here. Check my previous thingies, man. Previous videos, and that I'll be back again soon, man. You lot make me feel guilty, man. Come on, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate all of you. Like, you don't not make me want to leave, but I have to. Stay safe, everyone, man. I'm out.